35 years ago in 1984, some 5,000 families were forcibly evicted from their homes in Mbale, Vihiga County. In its explanation, the government said it needed land to build public facilities. And in complying with that government directive, many villagers left behind their wealth and much of their investment of many years. Thousands of families were bundled out of their land with the promise that they would be resettled elsewhere.
This was in 1985 when we were all evicted. In fact, we were forcibly evicted in such a way that those people who somehow delayed in leaving, they brought these bulldozers to come and block, in fact, bring all the soil in the front doors and the back doors so that you could not be able to go back to that house. And then we are put into lorries and brought to Shiru in Rujidereri, Musunji. This area is part and parcel of Kakamega forest.
When we reached Shiru, we found it is very hard, and the forest was so thick. We had so many mosquitoes, malaria were many. Our old fathers came here and died. And with us, who were young, we struggled to develop ourselves.
So when we were hived away from Vihiga, from Kakamega, it became necessary that Vihiga had to have a headquarter. And it was chosen that Mbale would be the best headquarter. But in Mbale, there were no land, there were no public land. So it was decided by the government, and that time, His Excellency, Honorable Moses Mudavadi was the Minister for Local Government. So through his influence, he was able to convince the government that they relocate people from Mbale to Shaviringa forest, Shaviringa land, which was land that was hived from the Kaimos forest and partly Kakamega forest. And that time it was 134.5 hectares.
It was a demand and command that forced majority of the residents and natives here go against the values of their culture. This was the ancestral land, and so moving out of it came with a lot of challenges. Some had to leave behind the graves of their relatives, an act which was a complete breakaway from a long-held tradition which largely prohibits family members from leaving behind the dead.
We were put there. We didn't have any houses, we didn't have anything. Eventually, after that, again, we had a lot of trouble with our neighbors who are the Tirikis. The Tiriki are the people who are actually neighboring this territory here in Hamisi constituency. They brought a lot of problems. It created problems for us so that we could not be able to integrate, to move, actually to be with them, because they claimed that they have got their own tradition, like in circumcision. Those rituals are different from the Margoris. So they forced us to also carry out our circumcision in the way that they do, which is not acceptable to the Maragori community.
At the time, the government was said to be in need of land to build public facilities. Among those facilities that came up on the piece of land as a result are these buildings that today serve as the Vihiga County headquarters. Yet the same government that moved them out of their land and resettled them in the Kakamega forest is about to evict them again. They have until January 2020 to vacate a Nandwa settlement scheme, their second home for more than 3 decades, or be forcibly evicted again.
I've got 6 boys and 4 girls. Now then, the shamba we were given is too small. We were told we shall get 7 acres, but when we came here, we were given just fractions of shambas, a quarter shamba, a half a shamba, and not even an acre.
People were expected to have that land was supposed to have been degazetted from the Kaimosi and Kakamega forest to now to be adjudicated and be given to their settlers who had settled there from Bali. But unfortunately, that has never been done. And I must say that I really sympathize with those people because as a result of that, they have never had a chance to get social amenities.
The families say they were resettled in Shiru, Nandwa, Shaviringa, Cheptulu, and Jirereri settlement schemes that were hived off Kakamega Forest. Yet, decades after they were resettled, they have never been issued with title deeds.
We have been asking for this title deed for the last 35 years. Even our situation was put before the Ndungu report. Our situation was also addressed to the land registrar and the principal, the permanent secretary by then of lands. And he wrote to us to say that he is actually going to deal with that, but he has never done anything. The situation had become so bad, like last time, about during the month of May, one person was arrested, one of the farmers here was arrested by APs, claiming that he had gone to graze in the forest.
We are hopeful that when we do the fencing, the Shiviringa scheme is already settled. It will not be part of the fencing. Because if you are to fence, it will mean you are fencing a whole community in that. And that community was officially taken there by government after declaring the place a settlement scheme. So I want to allay fears that of the people of Shiviringa that, you know, they will be fenced inside the forest.
Kakamega Forest is the only tropical rainforest in Kenya. It once stretched across Central Africa to East Africa. The forest is controlled and protected by the Kenya Wildlife Service and Kenya Forest Service and is famous for its virgin forest with trees more than 100 years old. It is also the source of many rivers that drain into Lake Victoria. The 24,000-hectare forest covers 238 square kilometers. It has very rich biodiversity. The forest is home to some of Africa's greatest hard and softwood like Elgon teak and red and white stinkwood. Overall, the forest has over 380 recorded species of plants, including flowers and orchids.
We have like people who come from America, they come from Germany, they come from Britain, Japan. They just come to see one of the species is a gray parrot. We have great blue turacos, we have blue-headed bee-eaters. And blue-headed bee-eater, this is the only place that you can see it, not anywhere else in the world. So if you miss to see it in the Kakamega forest, then you will not be able to see it.
The forest is also famed for being home to 480 bird species and several mammals. Forest records show there used to exist buffaloes, elephants, gorillas, and chimpanzees, but are now extinct due to human activity that has depleted the forest. Nevertheless, the forest still harbors a lot of insects, including praying mantis and a total of 489 colorful butterfly species. It is the only home to 46 species of snakes found in Kenya.
In all these forestations, we have challenges like with chakopani, illegal extraction of timber, illegal grazing, and all that. The Kenya Forest Service have sat with other stakeholders, KWS, Rhino Arc, County Government of Kakamega and Vihiga County, and they have come up with a solution, and that is to fence Kakamega Forest. That will assist us to ensure that all those challenges are brought to an end.
As per the last census of 2009, the population density around this forest area was 600 persons per square kilometer. This, of course, has given rise to the need to satisfy the needs from this population, leading to overexploitation, legal encroachment, and this can only be met from, by controlled by maintaining and managing the forest in a more sustainable manner.
Kakamega Forest makes some of the surrounding areas receive some of the highest amounts of rainfall in the country, with an estimated annual precipitation of 2,000 millimeters.
Kakamega Forest is the only remnant tropical rainforest remaining in Kenya. The forest is very important because of many things. We have indigenous forests, indigenous trees that cannot be found anywhere else. We have so many insects that are endemic to those forests. And basically the Kakamega forest is very crucial in the rainfall dynamics or the weather patterns. It determines the weather patterns of this region.
But that rare biodiversity is now disappearing due to increased human activities like encroachment, mining, charcoal burning, grazing, and logging. Interestingly, the government itself appears keen on propagating the destruction of the forest. Some government installations occupy the 4,000 hectares that were hived off the forest. They include the Agricultural Society of Kenya, Nyayo Tisons, Shikuza prisons, educational and health facilities, and people's homes.
There are people who have encroached into this forest and even institutions for many years ago. They settled into the forest, and parts of the forest where they settled have not been degazetted so that they officially stay in the forest. But this issue is being handled, and I want to believe that soon this will be a gone story.
We don't want our Kakamega forest to be like Mau. And we don't want our people to start getting problems like people who are living in Mau. We want the Kakamega forest to continue being what it is, and we want to maintain it. We want to be proud of Kakamega forest.
They now want to fence Kakamega forest. And they're claiming that they're coming to fence off that by using electrical fencing. This electrical fencing is going to affect our people. And now we don't know, are we going to be fenced in the forest or are we going to be fenced out of the forest? Where are we going to go if they are going to fence us in? How are we going to operate?
When in 1984 the government moved people from their own land and resettled them in a land that was hived off Kakamega forest, the decision not to degazette the land that was used to resettle the thousands of families was a clever way by the government to frustrate the affected villagers. The controversy here is that the villagers claim ownership of the land, yet the land is still gazetted as forest land, and not a single family has a document to prove their claim over any piece of land. Shadrach Miti, KTN News.